welcome. And if your to-do list is getting you down, this video is for you. Now, a to-do list can be helpful. I use them myself sometimes. In fact, yesterday I wrote a list for the coming week. And it's a bit like a shopping list. It's a way of writing things down so we don't forget. And in fact, if I'm going shopping and I've got 23 items to buy, it can make life easier. I haven't got to remember them because I've got them written down. And the same goes with a to-do list. It can just be an aide-memoire. But you're here because you know a to-do list can also become a burden. You know, we can feel under pressure, uncomfortable, restless, because it can seem as if we've got to do everything on our list before we can feel good again. And that is what I'd like to explore with you here, because if we understand what makes the difference between a list that's helpful and a list that's a burden, then it opens up a completely new perspective which gives us new and better options. So one way that a list becomes a burden is if we think we've got to do everything on it before we can feel good again. But that can be compounded by the fact there's always more to do, and we can find ourselves adding things onto the list. It can become never-ending. In fact, life can become, in some ways, a never-ending to-do list. And we become a little bit like that cartoon of the donkey with a carrot held out in front on a stick, so that as the donkey moves forward to try and get the carrot moves on. So it's a bit like that. We're chasing a never-ending target because we never get to the end of our list because we're always adding more to it. It's a bit like drinking salt water. You know, the more we drink, the thirstier we become. So as a clue to understand what's really going on, let's consider something that you may well have experienced yourself. And this is something that can happen when we're waking up in the morning. Now, if you take yourself back to when you wake up, you're just coming out of sleep and you realise that it's morning and it's time to wake up. And there is that moment or two where you are just aware that you're awake and your mind is still peaceful and you're not thinking yet about all the things that you've got to do today. And it feels really nice. And then, maybe very quickly, all the things that you are going to do today, in other words, all the things on your to-do list, come flooding back into your mind, and you feel that sinking feeling, that burdensome feeling, that feeling of pressure again. Now that's a clue, because it shows that there's something going on which isn't directly related to the list. The list is actually in existence before you even wake up. So you have that delicious few seconds when you're alive and awake without that sense of burden. And the burden descends when you start thinking about all the things on your list, and specifically all the things you've got to do. It's almost like a rule that you must get all those things done, and only then are you going to feel good again. Whereas in fact you've discovered that you can feel good at any time, like that waking moment. So what it is that there's a separation here we can see between the circumstances of your life and what's on your to-do list and the feelings you have, which can fluctuate independently of that list. And this is a very hopeful awareness, because it means that it's possible to feel good even though you haven't done everything on your list. So my suggestion to you is to notice how your feelings fluctuate independently of where you are on your to-do list. And just like those delicious waking moments, you'll be able to see that your feelings aren't dependent on where you are on that list, how many items you've ticked off, or how many you've added to the list since you started. And you'll also begin to see that the feelings of satisfaction and completeness and a sense of being worthy don't come from how many things you've completed on your list. In fact, those feelings are available to you all the time, at any time, when you let your mind relax its mental effort, even just for a few moments, because your mind will settle back into those feelings whenever it's given a chance. So let me know how you get on, and I'll see you next time.